Everyone, my name is Carly. Please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Cool. Um, yeah, so like I said, I'm Carly. I'm a senior at Towson University.
And my name is Jaden. I am a freshman at Towson University.
Okay, and we're just gonna get started. Here's our brief agenda, just so you all know what we're about to be talking about. And I'll be getting us started with the Declaration of Solidarity. I also have my notes written down, so hopefully that helps this just flow a little quicker. Thank you so much for having us and for sticking around. And I'm just honored to be sharing this Zoom stage with all of you amazing activists. So as students at Towson University, we recognize and understand the importance of centering the needs of Baltimore City residents when doing our environmental justice and sustainability work. Often schools will use their proximity to major cities as leverage for their claims of diversity, but won't live up to their responsibilities to the communities within those cities. Towson hasn't been a great neighbor. It's actually not been a good one in my eyes at all. That's coming from a student at Towson, but also a Baltimore native. And we focus, as students, we're focusing our efforts on holding Towson accountable for its role in and impact on Baltimore's environmental well-being. So we are focusing on working towards a future where Towson University and other schools in Maryland develop more authentic and supportive relationships with their nearby communities. And our community statement that we just created as students is an example of our efforts. So essentially, the community statement is a list of priorities that will put Maryland's colleges on track to carbon neutrality and a zero waste culture, while centering environmental justice. And its purpose is to address the institutional changes that we want to see across all Maryland colleges with regards to sustainability. Oh, sorry, I just got a pop up there. With regards to sustainability and environmental justice. So we first introduced the community statement at our first student environmental rally a couple weeks ago, and we're hoping this rally can happen again next semester to share with more Towson University students. And we're currently planning to share this community statement on a grassroots level with students at other colleges and universities in Maryland, so that they can use this document, that like this living document that we've made, to create their own list of demands for their school. And we also plan to do the same at Towson, make a list of demands that are more specific. But this community statement, we want to be a foundation for our school, for future students at Towson. Like I said, I'm a senior, so I won't be around forever. Jaden's a freshman, and so hopefully he can carry this torch too with the community statement and having us implement it at Towson. But we definitely want this to be something that other environmental activists at other schools also adopt. And like I said, this was devised by students, but all semester we've been working alongside professors and other Towson faculty, as well as the Post Landfill Action Network, or PLAN. And PLAN is an organization that aids and supports college students trying to tackle unsustainable infrastructure on their campuses around the country. And this community statement is just one example of a lot of our projects and plans that we have in the works right now, and we're trying to get started as soon as possible. Academia works very slow to make change, but we don't have time to wait. We don't have 10 years for our school or other schools to try to make a transition of some sort. So we're honored to have this position as students to get that change happening. And I'll be passing it on to Jada now. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Jaden once more. I am a freshman. And honestly, it is such an honor to speak here today. I really do appreciate everyone coming up. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Towson's contribution to climate change and climate inequality. So Towson, just as a campus, already contributes drastically to the growing issue of gentrification in cities, such as Towson and Baltimore and, St. Mary's, Johns Hopkins, all those schools. It creates sort of a bubble around the campus, and this bubble differs drastically from the actual city, and has heightened the cost of everything from apartments to grocery stores and the food they sell, which further leads to poor people not being able to live in areas anymore and not having a place to go. So just a few examples, I guess. The recent development of Towson University's Union area and Science Building has further expanded this bubble. but work is being done by local nonprofits to address climate change and gentrification at the same time. You can't really talk about climate change without also discussing climate injustice, because we understand now that, these poor communities don't have the funds to really address climate change. And unfortunately, that's just something that we have to address. Carly, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about Towson University and waste. That seems to be a really important topic right now. So basically, Towson University does currently have a front of house, which is like student and visitors composting system. However, it also has a back of house, which is more faculty oriented composting. From what I understand, the front of house composting has taken a bit of a dip due to the pandemic, but they are still doing the faculty composting. So Towson's current waste disposal method is through a third party and involves a third party taking 75% of our waste to an incinerator. Obviously, this is not a good plan. We are working on trying to change it as quick as possible. However, things take time, but we don't have time right now. Any compost material is taken to Prince George County, and the material that is saved is then sold to Montgomery County. Obviously, composting is a great alternative to incineration or landfills. However, there is still the issue of those facilities being placed on predominantly African American or Latino places, because that does emit at least a little bit of carbon monoxide and other toxic gases that harm a community. Anyhow. Alrighty. Lastly, we have some good news. Towson University recently passed a bill divesting away from fossil fuels. So this was done through the Towson University Foundation. Basically, there was a bill that was passed through the Student Government Association in 2019, with the primary writers of the bill being Jake Goodman and Olivier Ambush. Maybe some of us are acquainted. Anyhow, this bill ensures that the Towson University Foundation will instruct its active fixed income managers to divest away from fossil fuels and have those funds be put into greener sources and other social works. So just to explain a bit more, Towson University doesn't really take care of its funds. That's the foundation's job, and they are an independent, separate thing entirely. We did work very hard to make sure that Towson University was putting pressure on the foundation, because that was the issue at first. We weren't getting that pressure and people were getting frustrated. While the bill isn't really in full gear yet, it was just passed, I think, last week. Active work is still being maintained to ensure that Towson will soon be an environmentally clean and hopefully environmentally perfect school. Yeah, thank you guys so much again. I really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. I will be dropping my email in the chat. If there's any students here that want to get involved and collaborate. I did say I'm graduating. Well, I am graduating. I didn't say that, but I am graduating. But I will still be at Towson in the fall as a grad student. And so I plan to continue these efforts and would love to collaborate. So I'll drop that in the chat. But thanks again for having us.